Good afternoon, one and all. I welcome you all to Ganesh IAS Academy. In today's session, we'll be seeing science and technology based current affairs. Let us get into the news articles one by one. The first news that we are going to discuss for today is criticality in a nuclear reactor. So, in a nuclear reactor, what is criticality? What concept is called as criticality? We must have to understand that. Moreover, we must have to know the significance of achieving criticality. Okay, so let us understand all these things in this news article. So recently, the fourth unit of Kakrapar Atomic Power Station, which is located in Gujarat, has achieved its first criticality. So what is criticality here? It is the beginning of the regulated fission reaction. So what is criticality? Beginning of the regulated fission reaction is called as criticality. So we must have to understand what fission reaction is here. Okay. Next, it paves way for its eventual transition to generating power for commercial use. Obviously, when criticality is achieved, generating power for commercial use is made possible. Okay. And then criticality, we already know that it is the first step towards power production, and a nuclear reactor is said to be critical when the nuclear fuel inside the reactor sustains a fission chain reaction. So this fission reaction must be a chain reaction. Then only it is said that it has achieved criticality. Okay. Moreover, each fission reaction releases a sufficient number of neutrons. This is also there. Okay, we are going to understand this in a short while. Okay, so each fission reaction releases a sufficient number of neutrons to sustain a series of reactions. Okay, and then heat is produced in the event, and this heat is used to generate steam, which then spins turbine to create electricity. So this is how nuclear reactors are used for production of electricity. So this fission reaction is there. This fission reaction will lead to production of neutrons, and this neutrons will sustain that chain reaction. Okay, and during the chain reaction, heat is produced as a byproduct, and this heat is being used for creation of electricity. Okay, it will be used to generate steam, which will then spin turbine and electricity is produced. Okay, so fission reaction. So what is a fission process? Fission is a process in which nucleus of an atom splits into two or more smaller nuclei. We already know these are basic school concepts, fission and fusion. Okay, so what is fission here? An atom. Okay, so here the nucleus of an atom splits into two or more smaller nuclei. Nucleus of an atom is there, and then it is splitting into two or more smaller nuclei, and byproducts are also released. Here byproducts should be heat. Heat here is the byproduct. Moreover, neutrons are produced, and those neutrons will sustain the reaction. So that is why it is called as chain reaction. It goes as a chain reaction, and even this nuclei will split into two and also release three neutrons, which will again sustain the reaction. That is why it is called as sustained chain reaction. And when the nucleus splits, the kinetic energy of the fission fragments is transferred to other atoms in the fuel as heat energy, and this heat energy is what is utilized for production of electricity, which we already discussed. Okay, what else do we have to understand? What is the significance of achieving criticality? That we need to know. First is, it is the milestone for power generation, which we already know that this stage demonstrates that the reactor can produce a controlled and continuous chain reaction essential for sustained power generation, and it is a precursor to a full operation and power generation for commercial use. Okay, and then these nuclear reactors or nuclear energy also paves way for energy sustainability. Okay, and it also paves way for achieving climate goals. Let us understand that. So nuclear energy as a low carbon source, it is a low carbon source and it is a renewable energy. Okay, so nuclear energy being a low carbon source aligns with India's climate goals to increase its renewable energy share. we have a climate goal. What was that? What is that? India aims to generate 50% of its electricity from non-fossil fuel source. At present, we are heavily dependent on fossil fuel sources for electricity. But then we have this target, aim to generate 50% of its electricity from non-fossil fuel source by the year 2030, and this target was fixed during the COP, Conference of Parties meeting 26 in UNFCCC, okay, which happened in Glasgow in the year 2001. Okay, this happened in the year 2001. Now let us understand about the reactors which is present in this Kakrapar power station, and then how is it different from the other reactors in the power station. Okay, Kakrapar reactors. So the existing Kakrapar reactors, that is unit 1 and unit 2 reactors, have a capacity of 220 megawatt each, but then the new ones has a capacity of 700 megawatt, that is unit 3 and 4, and they are among the safest reactors in the world. Why are they the safest reactors in the world? That is because this unit 3 and unit 4 reactors have steel lined inner containment system. Okay, so they are very safe. They are having this steel lined inner containment system that prevents any radioactive material from escaping in case of a nuclear accident. Okay, so in case a nuclear accident is going to happen, then this steel contained system will be preventing any release of radioactive material, which is very important. Okay, and they also have a passive decay heat removal system. So what is this passive decay heat removal system? That is, when the nuclear reactor is shut down, it will automatically cool down the reactor. That system is called as passive decay heat removal system. That is also integrated with these two reactors, that is unit 3 and unit 4 reactors of Kakrapar power station. So this is what we need to understand about achieving criticality, what is its significance, and about the reactors in Kakrapar power station. The topic that we are going to discuss now is nicotine addiction treatment. What is nicotine addiction treatment, and what is the new thing that has been emerged or studied or researched under this treatment? Let us understand that. So, in a recent study set to redefine nicotine addiction treatment, researchers have unveiled a breakthrough method leveraging vitamin C and cotinine. What is this cotinine? Cotinine is a nicotine metabolite. What is a metabolite? Metabolite is nothing but an end product of metabolism. Okay, after we in our human body metabolize the nicotine, the end product is called as metabolite, and nicotine metabolite is cotinine here. Okay, so they are going to leverage these two chemicals, that is vitamin C and cotinine. How are they going to do it? Let us understand that in the upcoming slides. And this approach goes beyond the conventional nicotine replacement therapy. At present, we have nicotine replacement therapy. Let us understand about that also. But then this new research goes beyond the conventional therapy that we already have. So what nicotine is? Nicotine is a plant alkaloid. Okay, so it is a plant alkaloid that contains nitrogen, which is found in several types of plants, including tobacco plant. Okay, the main source here is tobacco plant, and this is very important that it can also be produced synthetically. Such statements are important from exam point of view. Nicotine can be produced synthetically also. Okay, and then it is both used as, it is used as sedative as well as a stimulant. Okay, so nicotine acts as a sedative and also acts as a stimulant. Okay, and then it is the main psychoactive ingredient in tobacco products. Very important. And this, that is the metabolite cotinine, is formed as a major metabolite of nicotine after tobacco smoking. After tobacco is being, after we consume tobacco or after we metabolize tobacco, the end product here is the cotinine. Okay, So let us understand how this new treatment works, and before that we must have to know what nicotine replacement therapy is. Okay, so nicotine replacement therapy, it is a treatment to help people to stop smoking. That is why we are having this nicotine replacement therapy, and it uses products supply which supply low doses of nicotine. Okay, so we have to come out of the addiction of nicotine, but then it is being done by giving small doses of nicotine. Okay, so these products do not contain other toxins which are found in smoke. So that is how we are avoiding smoke. Okay, so we are avoiding smoke by avoiding the toxins that are contained in the smoke. Okay, rather we are also including nicotine in smaller doses into our body. That is important here. So the goal of this therapy is to cut down on cravings for nicotine and ease the symptoms of the nicotine withdrawal. Okay, there are certain symptoms of nicotine withdrawal which we'll understand, and to ease the symptoms we are doing this, and we are also doing this therapy to cut down on the cravings for nicotine. So this nicotine replacement therapy products come in several forms like gum, transdermal patches which can be stuck to any part of the body, and nasal spray, oral inhalers and tablets. These are the things which are there under nicotine replacement therapy. And what is the current nicotine replacement therapy that we have? So currently the therapy relies on providing additional nicotine to the body through patches and lozenges, that is tablets. Okay, so these are all the different replacement therapies that we have now: nasal spray, skin patch, inhaler, gum, and then sustained release tablets. Okay, so these are all the things that we have. Moreover, counseling is also yet another option to come out of nicotine addiction. Okay, so individuals find it challenging to quit smoking, that is because of the symptoms of nicotine withdrawal. Okay, so nicotine withdrawal manifests like cravings, irritability, anxiety, increased appetite and difficulty concentrating. So these are all the problems that they face when nicotine is withdrawn from their daily use. That is why this nicotine small doses are given to them. Okay, so this is how present nicotine replacement therapy works. But what is the new innovation that has been made, or the new research that has been made? So researchers explore cotinine. We already discussed that it is a metabolite of nicotine. So cotinine, which is nicotine's oxidative metabolite, as an alternative approach. How are they going to do this? In humans, generally 80% of the nicotine accumulates as cotinine in the body, while the remaining 20% is eliminated in urine. And then this cotinine can cause cancer. Nicotine accumulation can cause cancer. Okay, so researchers used ascorbic acid. What is ascorbic acid? Vitamin C is also called as ascorbic acid. Okay, they are going to use this vitamin C as a reducing agent to convert cotinine back to nicotine. Okay, so they are going to reduce cotinine to nicotine. I hope you understand this, that nicotine is getting oxidized to become cotinine. Now using this ascorbic acid, that is vitamin C, which is a reducing agent, the opposite is going to happen. That is, they are going to convert cotinine back to nicotine, which is recirculated in the blood to prevent the nicotine urge. When nicotine is recirculated in the blood, then the craving for nicotine reduces. That is how they are going to work. Already stored cotinine is going to be converted to nicotine, so that fresh doses of nicotine need not be given. Okay, and researchers made a dissolvable film of vitamin C for smokers to use when tempted to smoke. So a dissolvable film of vitamin C is given now. Earlier vitamin C was not given, a small dose of nicotine was given, but now a small dose of dissolvable film of vitamin C is given here. Okay, and ascorbic acid, that is vitamin C, in specified dose facilitates conversion of cotinine to nicotine within the smoker's plasma. What is plasma here? The liquid portion of the blood. Okay, and then vitamin C helps to turn cotinine into nicotine without any side effects. Okay, in earlier nicotine replacement therapy, they introduced nicotine in smaller doses, which will again be having side effects, which will get accumulated in the body and it will cause cancer like diseases in future. But then this vitamin C therapy is without any side effects, and then the body gets rid of all the toxins at the end without needing extra nicotine. This is very important. There will not be any need for extra nicotine when we go for vitamin C process. Okay. Now we have to understand what is the status of tobacco consumption in India. Nearly 276 million adults, that is people who are 15 years and above in India, are users of tobacco. Okay, that constitutes to 29% of all the adults in India. And then the most prevalent form of tobacco use in India is smokeless tobacco, which is very important. Okay, statements like these are also important, which can be asked in your exam. The most prevalent form of tobacco in India is smokeless tobacco. Okay, but then smoking forms are also there like BD, cigarette and hookah. But then this smokeless tobacco forms like gutka, zarda and betel leaves, which are having tobacco products, these are the things which are most prevalent form of tobacco use in India. Okay. Next, tobacco use is the major risk factor for many chronic diseases, including cancer, lung disease, cardiovascular disease and stroke. And then it is one of the major causes of death and disease in India, and it accounts for nearly 1.35 million deaths every year, which is a huge number. Okay. And then India is also the second largest consumer and producer of tobacco. Okay. So these are the things which we need to understand, and what are all the government initiatives which are related to tobacco consumption in India. First one is Cigarettes and Other Tobacco Products Act, which was enacted in the year 2003. So the act applies to all tobacco containing products which are outlined in the act's schedule. Okay, and then this act prohibits advertising and regulates trade, commerce and production, supply and distribution of cigarettes and other tobacco products in India. Okay, next we have a national tobacco quit line service. Okay, so the objective of this quit line service is to provide telephone based information, advice and support and referrals for tobacco cessation, for tobacco quitting. Okay, so this is a telephone based information system. Next is National Tobacco Control Program. This was launched in the year 2007-8 during the 11th five-year plan period. Why was this launched? It was launched to create awareness about the harmful effects of tobacco consumption and to reduce the production and supply of tobacco products. Moreover, it was also launched to ensure effective implementation of provisions under that COTPA Act, which we saw in the previous slide, and then also to help people quit tobacco use and facilitate implementation of strategies for prevention and control of tobacco, which was advocated by this framework convention, that is WHO's framework convention of tobacco control. Okay, so this is what we need to understand from this topic, that ascorbic acid, that is vitamin C, can be used for converting cotinine, that is a metabolite of nicotine, which can be converted back to nicotine again. Okay, thus nicotine urge will be reduced. Okay, I hope you understood the concept. The topic that we are going to discuss now is artificial intelligence and machine learning in space sector. How artificial intelligence and machine learning has been integrated into Indian space sector. That is what we are going to understand with few examples. So artificial intelligence and machine learning in space sector. Recently, the government of India highlighted the substantial strides made by ISRO, that is Indian Space Research Organization, in integrating AI and ML within the realm of space exploration. So this transformation has been strategic response to the rapid technological advancement in these domains. over the past few years. Okay, so in the past few years there has been a huge technological advancement in these two domains, that is artificial intelligence and machine learning, and this is like a strategic response. I mean, we integrating artificial intelligence and machine learning is like a strategic response to the rapid technological advancement in these two areas. And then ISRO's ongoing projects, which includes even the Gaganyaan program, have integrated AI solutions. Okay, so now let us understand how AI is integrated and machine learning is integrated into space applications. Okay, first is space exploration and robotics. Okay, so space exploration and robotics go hand in hand. Okay, so artificial intelligence driven robots and rovers can navigate, make decisions, and explore distant planets or asteroids without constant human intervention. Okay, human intervention is not needed when robots are working here, and they are working using artificial intelligence. And machine learning helps in identifying celestial objects, terrains, and hazards and images which are captured by the space probes and satellites. Okay, so when space probes and satellites take images, this machine learning will analyze it and it will tell whether there are any hazards and how the celestial objects are present, in which distance they are present. All these details can be understood clearly with the help of machine learning. Next is satellite operation. So machine learning algorithms analyze satellite images to monitor changes in Earth's surface, weather pattern, and environmental changes. These are important applications with respect to Earth observation satellites. Next is spacecraft system. In spacecraft system, how is artificial intelligence and machine learning is being used? Artificial intelligence system monitor the health of the spacecraft components, thus predicting the potential failures and allowing proactive maintenance of the satellite. Okay, and then machine learning algorithms optimize the power, fuel, and other resources for spacecraft operations during any mission. Moreover, data analysis and pattern recognition is very important in any space mission. Okay, so it is done using artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence analyzes vast amount of astronomical data to discover new celestial bodies and understand cosmic phenomena and identify space debris in the space. Okay, so all these are very important. Next, machine learning helps in processing signals from deep space, distinguishing between noise and the potential communication. Very important. Okay, so there must be a distinction between which one is noise and which one is a proper communication from a spacecraft. Okay, so this distinction can be made by machine learning, and it also helps in analyzing many space scientific data. Okay, so these application oriented questions are very important from your mains point of view, and this can be asked as your interview question also. Okay, so this is one important topic which we need to focus. The topic that we are going to discuss now is X-ray polarimeter satellite. What is this X-ray polarimeter satellite? What is polarimetry? All these details we must have to understand. And when was this launched? Let us understand every other details of X-ray polarimeter satellite, XPOSat. Indian Space Research Organization put its first polarimetry mission, that is XPOSat, in a precise circular orbit of 650 km, that is low Earth orbit. Okay, on January 1st, 2024. And this XPOSat is the world's second satellite-based mission which is dedicated to making X-ray polarimetry measurements. Next, X-ray polarimeter satellite, that is XPOSat, is India's maiden mission dedicated to analyzing the polarization of X-ray emanating from bright celestial sources in the medium frequency band. This is important. So it operates in a medium frequency band, and it is going to analyze X-rays emanating from bright celestial sources. What are these bright celestial sources? Let us understand all of them one by one. So this is how it looks, XPOSat. What are all the payloads of this XPOSat satellite? Okay, the first one is Pollux. What is Pollux? That is Indian X-ray polarimeter, that is POLX, and then X-ray spectroscopy and timing, XSPECT, that is the second payload that we have. So these two payloads have been built by Raman Research Institute and UR Rao Satellite Center. Both these institutes are located in Bengaluru, and these payloads will enable comprehensive studies of X-ray sources, which includes temporal, spectral and polarization characteristics of X-ray sources. And then these observations will be done when magnetars are neutron stars, when these magnetars and neutron stars are in transit through Earth's shadow. When will Earth be in shadow? During eclipse period. Okay, so at those times only the observations are made clearly. Okay, so what are these magnetars and neutrons? They are highly magnetic and they display a wide array of X-ray activity. In one of our previous sessions, I have discussed in detail about what are magnetars. Okay, kindly watch it. Next, we need to get into the details of each of the payloads. POLX. What is POLX? It is the world's first instrument designed to operate in medium X-ray range. Okay, that is 8 to 30 kilo electron volt energy band, and then it comprises collimator. What is collimator? Collimator is a component which is used to filter light originating from bright sources in the field of view. Okay, what is the use of collimator here? It is to filter the light originating from bright sources like magnetars and neutron stars, okay, in the field of view. And then it also has a scatterer consisting of 4 X-ray proportional counter detectors. Why? It can prevent the trapped light from escaping. So to prevent the trapped light from escaping, they are using such detectors, and it will be observed, this payload will observe a few tens of astronomical sources during its journey of 5 years. Okay, so it will be operational for 5 years. That is important. The next payload that we are going to discuss is XSPECT. It is designed to conduct fast timing and high spectroscopic resolution in a soft X-ray energy band. What is that soft X-ray energy band? 0.8 to 15 kilo electron volts. That is the soft X-ray energy band. This XSPECT will be working in that energy band. And then it will observe a variety of sources like X-ray pulsars, and then black hole binaries, low magnetic field neutron stars and magnetars, and it will also observe active galactic nuclei, AGNs. What are AGNs? They are a compact region at the center of the galaxy that emits a significant amount of energy across the electromagnetic spectrum. Very important. Okay, a question based on pulsars, magnetars were already asked in one of the previous year questions. Okay, so we need to note something here, that this exposat will observe two kinds of sources. One is persistent sources and another is transient sources. What are persistent sources? Those which are targeted and known sources. We know the sources and we are observing it. But there are other transient sources like pulsars, active galactic nuclei and magnetars which transit the Earth's shadow, and during its transition we are going to observe it. Okay, so these are the two different kinds of sources which we are going to observe. Next is X-ray X-ray polarization in space. How does this happen in space? Okay, so out in space, X-ray get polarized due to multiple causes. What are all the multiple causes? For example, X-rays when subject to a strong magnetic field or due to interaction with material present around the black holes, they may get polarized. Okay, so by studying the polarized X-rays emanating from excellent sources like magnetars, black holes and their surrounding environments and neutrons, scientists can probe the nature of the radiation and the multitudes of processes involved in the generation of these radiations. All this can be understood so that we can understand better about these sources. The magnetars, black holes and other things. Okay, neutron stars, etc. And then how is this polarization measurement is going to help us, and how is this polarization is happening, that we need to know. So X-rays generally unpolarized X-ray, okay, the normal ones. So X-rays comprise electric and magnetic waves that are constantly in motion, okay, and these X-rays are sinusoidal waves, that is they do not follow a patterned direction of motion, okay. But then if the X-rays are polarized, okay, the polarized X-ray is both organized and it has two waves vibrating in the same direction, okay. Normal X-rays, they do not follow a patterned direction of motion, whereas polarized X-rays has two waves vibrating in the same direction, okay. So when magnetars or black holes emit X-rays, they encounter a wide variety of materials in the universe, okay, because they are going to come from a distant galaxy, okay. So they are going to face a wide variety of materials in the universe, and as the X-ray pass through the thick cloud of materials, the electric component of the X-ray emits a photon in a changed direction as it is now undergone scattering. So because of the scattering, photon is emitted here, okay, and in the process the new photon has got polarized in a direction perpendicular to the plane formed between the original and the scattered photon, okay. So this is how polarization happens, and we are going to measure this polarization, okay. So the polarization measurements, both angular and degree of polarization, are believed to provide clues about the bright X-ray emitting sources, I mean the magnetars, black holes, etc. And then the nature of these radiations. What is the nature of these radiations? Moreover, the complex process they undergo during the process. I mean the hindrances that they have undergone during the process, okay. All these can be understood by measuring the polarization of X-ray, okay. So this is what we need to understand from this X-ray polarization satellite, XPO-SAT. The topic that we are going to discuss now is Huntington's disease. What is this Huntington's disease? Let us understand. The Nizam's Institute of Medical Sciences in Hyderabad reports 3 to 4 cases of Huntington's disease every month, okay, and with each case impacting entire families, okay. So where is this Nizam's Institute of Medical Sciences located? Hyderabad. That is also important. And Huntington's disease, it is it is a rare inherited disorder. So it is an inherited disorder that causes progressive breakdown of nerve cells in the brain. How does this happen? Let us understand that in the upcoming slides. And this leads to movement, cognitive and psychiatric disorders, okay. And mutations in HTT gene causes this Huntington's disease. So there is a particular gene in our body called HTT gene. A mutation in this gene causes Huntington's disease. Let us understand further more about this Huntington's disease. This HTT gene are involved in the production of a protein called huntingtin. Huntingtin is the protein here, okay, and they provide instruction for making the protein, whereas the mutated genes, if the genes are mutated, then it provides faulty instructions, thus leading to production of abnormal Huntingtin protein and formation of clumps, okay. Huntingtin protein will be formed abnormally and then clumps are formed here, and these clumps disrupt the normal functioning of the brain cells, which eventually leads to death of the neurons in the brain, resulting in Huntington disease. When the neurons are dead, then it leads to Huntington's disease, okay. This is important. So it leads to death of neurons in the brain. Next, there are no cure for this disease at present, and now they are being treated with drugs, psychotherapy and talk therapy, okay, and it can shorten the life expectancy of the patients, the Huntington disease patients, particularly if the onset is at younger age, okay. What else do we have to understand about this particular disease? At first, Huntington's disease patients have mild symptoms like forgetfulness, loss of balance, clumsiness, and clumsiness when they perform any simpler tasks also, okay. And then the symptoms begin between the age of 30 to 50, and then the condition progressively worsens day by day. The patient suffers mood swings, has difficulty in reasoning, show abnormal and uncontrollable jerky movements, and experiences difficulty in speaking, swallowing, and even walking. So these are all the symptoms, how the symptoms progress day by day. Okay. The normal HTT gene contains a stretch of DNA that specifies the number of times the amino acid, that is glutamine, is repeated in the HTT protein, and this number varies from 11 to 31, normal HTT gene. Okay, but then in the mutant version of the HTT gene, the stretch is expanded. Okay, this amino acid glutamine stretch is expanded to encode 35 or more repeats, and researchers have even found variants with more than 150 repeats. So here what we have to understand is, as the number of the repetitions increases, repetitions of amino acid glutamine, okay, so as the number of the repetitions increases, the severity in Huntington's disease is going to increase, and its debilitation begins at earlier age itself. Okay, and the symptoms occur at early age itself. So each one of us, each one of the human body has two copies of HTT gene. One we inherit from the father, and the other which we inherit from the mother. So here we have to understand this thing, that the disease is triggered even if only one copy of the gene is mutated while the other is normal. So there is no compulsion that both the copies of the gene has to be mutated. Even if one copy of the gene is mutated, and if that is going to be the dominant gene, then the problem occurs. Huntington's disease happens. Okay, so the mutant gene is said to be dominant to its normal counterpart, even if one is affected. Okay, so in the study on fruit flies, it was observed that the pathogenic Huntington protein causes a decrease in the overall protein production in the cells. So it affects the overall protein production in the cells. Okay, and this was done in the study on fruit flies. That is important. Okay, so this is what we need to understand from this particular topic, that is Huntington's disease. Okay, I hope you found the session to be very useful and informative. Let us see in the next session. Thank you.